Shalom. We are continuing our learning of Sefer Yeshayahu. We're up to Perek Nun Aleph. We are actually at the very end of one of the Haftarahs of the Sheva de Nechemta, the 7 Haftarahs of comfort that we read between the Shabbos after Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. And these are the concluding 3 psukim. Shimu Elai Reit Tzedek. Again, this is giving hope to the Jews who will often be despondent, depressed, lose hope, lose a sense that there will ever be a Geula. And the Navi turns to them in the name of Hashem. Listen to me, those who chase after mitzvahs, mevakshay Hashem, you seek Hashem. Habitu el tzor chutzavtem. Look at the rock from which you were cut. Avram is described as a rock, and we were cut from that rock. V'al makeves bor nukartem, and the pit from which you were drawn. Sarah is described as the boar. Habitu, now it explains, el Avram avichem. Look at the greatness of your father Avram. V'al Sarah tolchalchem, and Sarah from whom you were born. Ki echad karasiv. I call them unique. They were one. They were the only ones who proclaimed Hashem in the world. V'avorcheyu, and I blessed them. V'arbeyu, and I gave them, I made them many. Again, let me just point out that the Rambam writes that even if a person is a ger, a person was not born Jewish, Avram and Sarah are their father and mother. For all who embrace Hashem are the children of Avraham and Sarah. Don't give up. Look at who your parents are, Avraham Avinu and Sarah. Ki nicham Hashem Tzion. God will surely comfort Tzion. Tzion is Eretz Yisrael or Yerushalayim. Again, I think I pointed out earlier that the mountain that is presently called Har Tzion or Mount Zion was actually given that name by the Christians. In Tanakh, Har Tzion is either the Har Abayis, Har Moriah, or it is Yerushalayim as a whole. It does not refer to the hill to the west of the old city that is presently called Har Tzion. That's a later designation. Ki nicham Hashem Tzion, God will comfort Zion. Nicham kol charveiseha, all of the ruins, Hashem will bring them comfort. Vayasa midbara ka'eden, the desolate deserts will be like Gan Eden. Arvasa, the parched plains, kegan Hashem, will be like the garden that Hashem blesses. Sasain v'simcha yimatzeba, only joy and happiness will be found in the rejuvenation of Tzion. Taida, thanksgiving. V'kayel zimra, and the voice of singing. And that's the end of the Haftarah. Those of you that remember may recall that this is the last thing we recite on the kinais of Tisha B'Av, that Hashem will comfort, and sasein v'simcha yimatzeba, Taida v'kayel zimra, and then in the morning, Ashrei Ashrei V'sacha, we finish the rest of davening. Okay, so that's the end of the Haftarah, but then the Perek goes on, because we're in Perek Nun Aleph. Hakshivu elai ami ulu'umi elai azinu, listen to me, my nation. Ki Torah me'iti teitzei. Torah comes to me. So here, Torah does not mean the Chamisha Chumsi Torah, it means instruction. Instruction comes to me. Mishpati lior amim margia, and my judgments will be a light to all the nations of the world. Karaiv tzidki, my righteousness is near, meaning I'm coming to redeem you. Yatsa yishi, my salvation is coming out. Zrawai amim yishpaitu, my powerful arms, again we're using this metaphorically to Hashem, will judge the nations. Elai iyim yikavu, and even the faraway islands will look for me. And they will hope for me. Again, the Rambam suggests Again, part of the problem is we have two different pictures. Like, well, is Hashem going to fight the enemy, or is the Umos Olam going to turn to Hashem? The answer is there's going to be both. And the Rambam even says that even Christianity and Islam were movements away from the paganism of Avodah Zarah to create a world that is closer and closer to recognizing Hashem. Su'u l'shamayim einechem, Hashem speaks to the Jewish people. Raise your eyes to heaven. V'habitu el aretz mitachas, and lower your eyes to the earth. Ki shamayim ki ashan nimlachu v'aretz kebeged tivlev yoshvek mokein yamusan. Because things are going to be happening. Meaning, this goes back to the war aspect. The shamayim will be filled with smoke, and the earth may be decimated like a garment, and many people may die. So this is a reference to the Chavlei Mashiach. But nevertheless, don't give up. Yeshuati liolam tihiyah. My salvation shall never be displaced. Tzidkasi, my righteousness, lo seichas, shall not be broken or smashed. Shimu Elai Yedei Tzedek Am Tairasi Bilibam. Listen to me, those who remain righteous. A nation who still keeps the Torah in your heart no matter what. Al Tiru Cherpas Enosh. Do not be afraid of the shameful treatment that you're given by other people. Gidu fosam al techotu, and from their blasphemies do not be broken. Ki kabeged yoichlemash, they will be like a garment consumed by the moth. This is apparently a metaphor the Navi likes to use a lot. V'chatsemer yoichlem sus, and like wool that can be eaten up by worms. But sitkasi liolam tia, my righteousness shall always endure. Yeshuasi l'dor dorim. Don't give up hope. So now, after Hashem made this statement, we now have a prayer of the Navi to Hashem. So we're going, right, this is not a prophecy, this is a prayer of the Navi to Hashem. Right, Hashem said to us, Uri, we say to Hashem, Uri, waken, wake up. Uri, Uri, livshei eyes, Zeraya Hashem. Arise, Hashem, arise, wear your strength, arms of God. Uri kimei kedem, arise as you did in the ancient days of Mitzrayim. Doros olamim. Halo ati amachsebes Rahav. You are the one that destroyed Rahav. Rahav is a name for Mitzrayim. Mechaileles tanim, you killed the serpent. Egypt is called a sea serpent. Halo ati amachareves yam, you are the one who dried out the Yamsuf. Mei tahom rabba, the deep ocean. Hasama mamake yam derech lavor gerulim, you made the depths of the sea a pathway, so those who are redeemed could walk through. Ufduye Hashem yeshuvan. Uvo tzion berina. Now this is actually a repetition of a pasuk earlier. And what will happen is, those who Hashem redeems will return to Tzion with joy. The simchas olam al rosham, there'll be eternal simcha above their heads. The Rambam writes that this refers to a connection to the Shekhinah. Sasain v'simcha yasigun, they will achieve sasain and simcha. I think I mentioned the first time we had the pasuk that the Vilna Gaon says that simcha is the simcha of anticipating the future, and sasain is the simcha of what you've gotten in the past. There will be the sasain of what we've gotten, and the simcha of what we're expecting. That's why it says in Kelodon, Smeichim b'tseisam, when the sun and the moon begin their day, they're going to accomplish, that's b'simcha, and when they finish their day, it's sasain. V'naso yagain v'anacha, and groaning and sadness will leave. The rest of the parak is another haftarah of some of the Sheva Dinachemta. So again, these psukim are familiar. Anoichi, anoichi hu menachemchem. I am comforting you. It's not a human being that you can't depend on. I am here for you. Miyat, again speaking to the Jewish people as a woman, as a widow. Miyat vatiri me'enesh yamus. Who are you that you are afraid of people who are going to die? Umi ben adam chatzir yinasen, and from bnei adam that are like grass that withers. Vatishkach Hashem osecha, and you forget God who made you. Naita shemayim, he extended the heavens, v'yosei aretz, and he made the foundations of the earth. V'tafachei tamid kol hayom lechamas hameitzik, and the whole day you are afraid of the anger of the oppressor. Kasher konein lahashchis, when he's getting ready to destroy. But what's going to be? Ayei chamat hameitzik. There will come a time that you're going to say, where is the anger of the oppressor? Mihar tsoya lipaseach. Again, there will come a time. May not have come yet. Tsoya means the wanderer. The wandering Jew who is tied up in chains will be released. V'lo yamos l'shachas, he will no longer die to destruction. V'lo yechsar lachma, he will no longer suffer not having bread. Anoichi Hashem Elokecha rega hayom. I, Hashem, can take a turbulent sea, a remez to the oppression of the nations, and I can calm it down. And the other way around, v'yehemu galav, I can stir up the waves. So those who feel they're secure and batuach, I can stir them up. Hashem tzavakos shemo. I am the God that is master of nature. So again, Hashem is speaking to Bnei Yisrael. V'yasim devarai bepicha. And I put my words of Torah in your mouth, that by learning them, you are connected to me. Uvitzel yadi kesisicha, and by learning the Torah, you will be protected by the shadow of my hand. Lintaya shamayim. And through your learning, you will be able to establish the shamayim, meaning to say, Nefesh HaChaim says, you will bring down from shamayim the blessings of God. V'lisaid aretz, and you will establish, through your learning, you will establish the foundations of earth. V'leimor l'tzion, and I declare to Tzion, Amiyata, you are my nation. Right, so this is Hashem responding. Right, the Navi Yeshayahu said, Uri, Uri, wake up, Hashem. And Hashem's response is, Anochi, Anochi, hu minachemchem. And now, if the Navi Yeshaya said, Uri, Uri, Hashem says to us, His Orari. Again, all of these Lashonos are from L'chadaidi, who took them from these prakim. Wake up, Kumi Yerushalayim. As if you're in a slumber, as if you're unconscious. Asher shasis miyad Hashem es kos chamaso, es kubas kos hatarela, shasis motzitz. So the metaphor that's being used is, it's a metaphor, it's a picture. Hashem poured his anger into a cup, a big cup. And in that cup there is the bitter sediment, which is even worse than the stam anger. And the Jewish people drank this anger of fury, this kos hatarela, this cup of poison. Shasis, you drank. Motzitz, and you even sucked on the sediment. And as a result, you're stupefied, you're intoxicated. You can't move. And now Hashem is calling, wake up from the stupor that you're in, because you drank the kos of Hashem's anger. I know, Ein menahel la mikol banim yolada. It seems that there's no leader who can help you from all the children you gave birth to. Ein machzik biyada mikol banim gidela. From all of the children that she raised, there is no one that can hold her hand and pick her up. Going back to the idea of being bereft and alone. Shtayim heina karosach. 2 tragedies have happened to you. Mi yodid lach. Who can even shake their head to give you a comfort? Now, it says 2, but then it mentions 4. Shod v'hashever, plundering and breaking. Ra v'acherev, famine and sword. So again, the Meforshim explain, Shod v'shever, lefi pshat, is one thing. Your property was destroyed. And famine and sword is your people died. Property, people. But again, the remez symbolically is, we lost Torah, and we lost Gedolim. We lost the tzaddikim as people, and we lost the teaching they could have given us. Hashem is saying, who can I bring to comfort you? Mi anachamech. Banayach ulfu shachvu b'reish kol chutzas kesar mechmar. I know your children have fainted and died in the streets, like an ox being led to slaughter. Hamoleim chamas Hashem, filled with the anger of Hashem. Garas elokayach, the rebuke of your God. Meaning, in the Chorban, whether it be the Chorban Bayis Rishon or the Chorban Bayis Sheni or the Holocaust, we feel the anger of Hashem and we feel hopeless. But says Hashem, Lachain, Shimina Zeis Aniyah, listen to me, poor one. Shechugas v'lo miyayin, you are drunk with suffering, not from wine, but from suffering. Again, this phrase appears in the Kinais. Kai Amar Adonayach Hashem Belokayach. So says your master. Yariv Ama, your God will fight for you. Hine lokachni miyadeches kosat harela. I am taking away from you the cup of poison. Eskubas kos chamasi lo sosifu l'shtei sahod. You will no longer drink the cup of my anger. V'samtia, I will put that cup biyad mogayach. So here there's a question how to read it. We before we termed the umos ha'olam monayach with a nun, and monayach means those who abused you. The Minchas Shai brings on this pasuk that some are geires here as well, monayach, those who abused you. But Rashi and other most Rishonim actually keep the word mogayach, and Rashi says mogayach means those who make you wander in Galus, or the Metzudas Sion says those who melt you, as if you melt away. Asher Amru, these enemies said, L'nafshech said to you, Shechi, bow down v'navera, we want to walk on you. V'tasimi ki oretz keimech, and you made your body like the ground, v'kachutz, and like the dirt, liovrim. In other words, you were humiliated, you were shamed, you were degraded. And these are the mogayach who humiliated you. I will give them the kos of my anger.